everyone. So this is the first of 3 introductions to the reformer. I love the reformer. I've been practicing on it for over 20 years. This is how I learned Pilates. I never started on the mat. I just decided, hey, maybe I want to try the reformer, and having no idea about anything, I started, and it was pretty overwhelming. A lot of, you want to do this, you want to do this, you want to do this, you need to breathe this way, and it was fine. I just was like, oh my gosh, I can't remember all of this. So my goal here for these next 3 classes that I'm going to do is just kind of introduce you to the basics of the reformer, how to move on the reformer, as in layman's terms as I can. My goal is not to overwhelm you. We will talk about breath work. Of course, breath work is important, but when you're new to this, you're moving and then you're trying to breathe, and it's a lot. So I just encourage you to breathe. To breathe in and out, and try not to hold your breath. We have plenty of time to talk about breath work. We're going to move. Let's talk about the reformer. Okay, reformers are different. They come in all different varieties, but they pretty much have a few things in common. All right, headrest. Usually on your reformer, your headrest is going to go up and down. I like to have my head up. It's a preference. There are some moves I'm going to say, take it down, because you should take it down. But I like to have my head up a little bit, totally up to you. They're probably going to have some shoulder rest. Here they are. Handles. Okay, I've got 2 sets of handles. One where I can grab a hold onto this handle and it kind of moves, it rolls. And then I've got foot straps, which I attach when I'm ready to use those foot straps. A lot of reformers have both of them, so you can intertwine between the 2 of them. Some reformers just have one. That's okay too. They're all different. By the way, I'm on a Balanced Body Studio reformer. Foot bar. They're all going to have a foot bar, and they're probably all going to go up and down. Right now, my foot bar is in the regular position. I can take the foot bar down a bit. Well, why do we have it like that? Well, soon we're going to lay down and do some footwork and some bridging. If I'm 6'4", which I am not, but my husband is, in order for him to have a little bit more room lying down, I would put this foot bar down. If you're tall, odds are the foot bar is going to go down when you're doing exercises lying on your back. It has nothing to do with your strength. It has to do with your height. And sometimes the foot bar will go all the way down for some exercises, which we'll go through. I'm going to start with footwork, and since I'm kind of a shorty, my foot bar is going to go in the regular spot. Guess what? They make some foot bars that go even higher than this. Mine isn't really totally equipped to do that. Now that would be if you're very, very petite, but odds are you're not going to be here. You're going to be in this regular position. Isn't this complicated? Last thing I'm going to talk about, then we're going to move, is the springs. We all have different springs. When I teach, I am going to call out what my spring colors are for the balanced body, but then I'm going to say it's a heavy, it's a medium, or it's a light. Figure your springs out, just kind of play around. A red is equivalent to a heavy. My blue is equivalent to a medium. My yellow is very light, and I have 1 green spring, which is a heavy spring plus a light spring. So I'm not just going to say, okay, like 2 reds and a blue. I'll call out 2 heavies and a medium. We're going to lie on down. I'm starting with footwork. 3 heavy springs. That's about what I do. As we get started, you might want to lighten the weight. I'll let you know. We'll talk about it. I'm on 3 heavy. Exactly what I'm on, 2 reds and 1 green. So let's just move and do this. Well, let's start and see what happens. Okay. Lie on down. Before I begin any of my classes, I just like to take a minute to do whatever kind of stretch you want in this position. For me, usually I reach back and hold onto the pegs, elbows wide, and I drop my knees to one side. This feels good to me. I always tell my people to start with whatever makes sense to you and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Drop those knees to the other side. Same thing. Breathe. I find that we're in such a rush these days that taking 2 minutes just to settle into the reformer makes a difference. Coming on back through center. Your arms are going to go down by your side. Walk those heels out to the sides of that foot bar. Your heels are on. Flex the feet. Turn those legs out. So I'm not splayed open, knees to the side of the room. I'm more kind of in line with my hips. All right, here we go. I'm going to give myself a big inhale and exhale. Press away and back on in. Okay, footwork. I'm digging into the center of my heels and flexing my feet. It's like my toes are bending back towards my knees. And I'm going at a nice, moderate pace. I'm taking those legs out all the way, long and back. So I'm not stopping short, like right there. I'm extending long. Just move here. Play around with it, especially if this is your first couple times on the reformer. Get the motion down. And when you feel like you've got it, remind yourself to breathe in and out. We'll talk about more breath work as we go forward, but at this point, I just want you to breathe. Few more here. You're going to hold those legs out long. Bend those knees, come almost all the way on in. Take the carriage up 1 inch and down. So you're pressing away 1 inch and down. Still flexing those feet. Toes are pointed back, but we're moving very slowly and very small. Don't hold your breath in and out. Already, I'm feeling my quads, my thighs, waking up. 1, extend the legs all the way on straight and bend your knees in. Toes are going to go on where those heels were. So toes go on. We're at the edge and we're still turned out. All right, I can feel all 10 toes on, but we'll see here in a second. So remember, we're not splayed too open with the knees. A little bit closer, closer. Can I talk? Out we go. I'm going to take a peek up. Are all 10 toes on? Don't forget the baby toe. and bend the knees on in. So let's talk about the weight, the heaviness of the springs. They're heavy, all right? In footwork, they are heavy. However, I don't want them so heavy that you feel like you're getting slammed into the shoulder rests as you press out each and every time. So if that's the case, maybe take the weight down a smidge. I'm going to rest my hands on my hip bones and gently press down. So when I bend my knees, I'm pressing my tailbone down. So I'm making this nice crease at the hips when I bend my knees in. How fast or how slow you go is up to you. It's your hour, not mine. Never compare yourself to someone else. I'm closing my eyes. I'm breathing. One more. Bend those knees halfway in. I'm just going to hold it here. I'm holding still. There's tension in the springs. Just staying still. My tailbone is down. I'm relaxed through my upper body. My heels are still lifted. And I'm just holding still. Feeling heat creep up into my legs, my thighs, inner thighs. Extend those legs all the way on out. Your legs are long. Lower those heels down and take a moment. Big breath in through your nose. Exhale, lower those heels as much as you can while keeping those toesies on the foot bar. Some breaths in and out. Let it go. Relax. I imagine myself just sinking into the reformer and breathe. One more time in and out. Lifting those heels up, legs are still straight. Bend the knees in, slowly coming on in. 2 more pieces of footwork and we're going to move on. Your heels are going to go on the foot bar about hip distance parallel. So that means your toes are pointed straight up to the ceiling. It's funny, sometimes I teach a class and people are like way out here. I'm like, yeah, your hips aren't that big. You know, you're about hip distance parallel. Whatever. It doesn't need to be exactly hip distance. All right, from here, I'm pressing my tailbone down. Arms are long. I'm going to go all the way on out and in. Breathe. Practice a few. You're extending the legs all the way on out and bending the knees in. Here's sometimes what I see. Okay, well, you were hyperextending those knees there. It happens to the best of us. I like to imagine that my legs are rubber bands and you're stretching that rubber band out right before it's going to break, and then coming on in. You are controlling the springs. Okay. Are you breathing? Remind yourself. Okay. So because my feet are flexed, I can feel this in my shins, in my calves, and of course, my quads. Hold those legs straight, bend those knees, come almost all the way on in, almost all the way in. Pulse the carriage away an inch, down an inch. So small you can barely tell I'm moving. I like in footwear just to close my eyes, and this is such a nice time to connect with my breath and gather myself for the hour ahead of us. Sometimes I'm mean, sometimes I'm not so mean. Today we're just going to do the basics. Can you imagine I'm ever mean? Sometimes I can be. Let's extend those legs all the way out to straight. And bend those knees. Come all the way on in. Your toes will go on exactly where those heels were. I'm pressing the balls of my feet into that foot bar. I'm going to lift my heels slightly, keeping that tailbone down as I press the carriage away. Of course, I feel myself against the shoulder rests, but I'm trying to keep that tailbone down. I'm going to press my hip bones down as I bend the knees in, out, and in. I imagine I'm so tall that I'm the tallest in my family, even though I'm the shortest. Just lengthening my neck in opposition to my arms, long towards the foot bar. Breathe. Deep breathing. It's a lot to remember. I know. It's okay. Just move and everything will be fine. On this next one, hold those legs long. Hold those legs long. Those heels are lifted. You're going to lower both heels and lift both heels. Lower and lift. You're lifting as high as what's doable for you. Enjoy the lowering. It feels oh so good in the backs of the legs. So good for our ankles, ankle mobility. Keep the heels lifted, legs go straight. Bend one knee, that heel lifts, and the other heel drops. Hold it here a second. One heel is lifted. That's the knee that's bent up towards the ceiling. The other's nice and long. You're dropping the heel. Find that beautiful stretch on the side of the heel that's lowered. Switch. Hold. I oftentimes start my class like this, where we hold the stretch. It's amazing. Now, let's pick up the pace. We switch and switch. One heel nice and high, the other low. You will hear me say prance. Starting our prance. People call it different things. It's pretty much universally loved. Sometimes I'll have you pick up your pace. The options are endless, but right now we're just doing the basic stretch. And 2, 2, 1, 1. Lift both heels up and bend the knees in. Nice work. Put your headrest down if it's up. I'm going to reach back and put it down. Now I'm going to grab the ball for this next set. Ball comes through this next, so the ball is going to go in between my thighs. Not doing any weight change. You want the carriage heavy when we do a little bridging where we're lifting our hips. Keep it heavy to start. I'm going to scoot myself away a little bit from the shoulder rest, just a smidge. Balls in between my thighs, heels are going to go on that foot bar. Again, I got a nice squeeze of the ball, flexing those feet. All right, imagine my belly button is a 12 on a clock, and my lady parts down here are about a 6. So let's say I shift my weight towards the 12 on the clock. So I've lifted my booty slightly. It's like I'm punching down at that 12 o'clock, that belly button. And then I'm going to shift to the 6 on a clock, pushing my weight down on my tailbone. And you see, I almost have a little bit of an arch. Back to the 12. I'm going to keep my arms away so you can see. And the 6. Warming up that spine. Using that clock. 6, 12. 6, I'm popping my ribs slightly. 12, I'm imprinting my spine, lifting my booty up a little bit. A few more. I'm squeezing the ball. Especially when I'm rolling to that 12, I'm squeezing. One more. You'll hear people referring to this as the pelvic clock. 612, 612. All right, from here, I'm coming back to that neutral position. What the heck's that? I'm sure you hear it all the time by various Pilates instructors. Well, in layman's terms, I'm not like this. You can't fit your hand under here, and I'm not like this, imprinting the spine. I'm somewhere in between. Is like lightning gonna strike you if you're either or? No. But I'm just kind of giving you the basics of what a neutral is. So, we'll talk about it a little bit more later. Here we are. Let's do some rolling up, some bridging. To the 12. Pause. I'm going to squeeze that ball, and I'm going to keep going up, up, up. Pause. I'm not like that. I'm more going to tuck my tail under. Now, coming down. Walking that spine down. Down, down. Focusing to that 6. And then back to that neutral. Curl. Curl towards that 12. Squeeze that ball. Let's peel that spine up. Hold it here for an inhale. Exhale. Piece by piece. Bone by bone. We're coming down with that spine. Are you going to look like me? No. You're doing you. All spines are made up differently. Give me an inhale. Exhale again to the 12. Come all the way on up. I want you to hold it here. Squeeze the ball. Small release. Squeeze. Release. Okay. My hips are open. Voila, it's called hip extension. My booty is awake, it's alive. The ball is forcing me to stay in parallel because as a society, we like to be turned out a lot. Here we're parallel. Hip bones, thighs, knees pointing straight ahead. Squeeze. Excellent. My arms are long. I'm doing my best to not hold my breath. Hold it. Big inhale. Exhale slowly. Peel that spine best you can down. All right. One more thing. I know this is exciting, isn't it? All right. Give me an inhale. Exhale. Curl. Pushing down my belly button. That's the 12. And I'm coming all the way on up. I'm not going to roll down now. We're going to do something different. Forget the rolling. Forget it. I want you to think of dropping that booty down towards the carriage. I'm going to move my arms for you. Down in one piece, I'm hovering over the carriage and lift. So now all that rolling down, we're not doing it. We're flat back, lowering the hips and lifting. Sometimes I'll teach rolling that spine up and down, or better known as articulating. And others I'll say flat back, lower, and lift. On the next one, I'm going to hold it up here because I'm getting very tired. Inhale. Exhale, I'm going to roll the spine down best I can. Woohoo! And now, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to lose this ball for a second, get rid of it. I'm going to hug my knees into my chest and rock side to side. So, with bridging, you can have both heels on. They can be parallel. They can be wide. You can have toes on, but if your toesies are on, you're going to really feel this in the hamstrings quickly. You can lighten the carriage and press the carriage in and out. We'll do some of that when we move on to our other classes, but options are endless. But what we just did are the basics. And if you're in a class, take one of my classes and I say toes on, you can always go to your heels. Okay, you do you. Time for a weight change. I'm gonna get up gracefully. Okay, for me, I was on those 3 heavies. I'm gonna keep one heavy on and add myself a medium. So I'm on a balanced body, as you know, a red and a blue spring. This is a bit heavy. All right, so this is about as heavy as I would go. If you're just starting out, you might want one red and a light, which would be a green spring if you had it on a balanced body. I am doing one heavy and one medium. That would be the most, in my opinion. Either that or the green. One heavy and one light. Okay. Laying on back down, I am going to put my headrest up again. I'm going to take the ball again and place it in between my thighs. So I'm in a little bit of flexion. I'm not shoved up against the shoulder rest. I'm going to reach back and grab my handles. Before we move on, I always like to see if my handles are even. So I'm just going to press my arms forward and put all that weight in my arms, hardly any weight on my feet on that foot bar, and just make sure it's even, because if it's not, it's really irritating. You feel like you're pulling heavier with one. All right. From there, you're going to pick those legs up into tabletop. Let's just hold it here a second. I've got a little bit of forward pressure on the handles. This would be if I was back into the carriage, but now I've got a little bit of tension. My shoulder blades are pressed down. I'm going to take those arms straight down by my side. I like to have my fingertips free. It totally is up to you. And slowly raising my arms back to that start position. Fingertips right over shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. I'm reaching long with my arms at this point. My shoulders are away from the shoulder rests. And back up. Okay, I'm just holding the ball with my thighs. I'm really not squeezing it. It's just meant for me to stay in parallel. Let's say your low back is bothering you right now. You're not alone. Bend your knees a little bit more to your chest. Okay. Maybe that'll help. Now you say to me, Johanna, my hip flexors, I feel them. They're bothering me right here. Go to a slight turned out. I've made a little bit of a turned out. The ball can still stay in my thighs. It's not as tight, but I've turned my knees out a bit. Keep going. Those are two options if you're feeling this in your low back. We want to just try not to arch that back like I'm doing right now. I'm making kind of a cone, but instead push the spine down into the carriage. You're keeping those arms long and you're always feeling tension in those palms. I'm going to get a few more. Just move. Don't think about perfection. We're figuring it out together. One more. Down. Up. Find the feet on the foot bar a second. Rest. We're going to add the head up. If you felt you were unstable doing that, you were kind of shifting around a lot, I would say your weight is a little too heavy. Take it down. It just doesn't matter. You do you. Especially at the beginning when you're starting on the reformer, it's best to be light. All right, from here, arms are going to go straight up to the ceiling again. I'm going to take those legs to that tabletop position, pressing a bit forward with my arms. I'm pressing my palms into my handles. We're going to add a head up. Take a big inhale. Your arms are going to start to go down. Then your head's going to lift. Arms are going to go straight forward. Head lifts. I'm looking through my legs. Now my arms are going to start to lift and my head is going to go slowly down. Inhale. Exhale. Reach. Hold it here a second and reach those arms long. Reach them. Then slowly coming on down. Inhale. Exhale. Reach. Reaching long. And then back down. I want one more. Inhale. Exhale. Reach. Reach. How high can you get? Looking towards right into those toes. And back. Done. Hang up those handles for me. We're going to take a quick stretch. Take the ball away. Remember how we started our hour just dropping the knees to one side? Dropping the knees to the other. We have one more position to do. This is called supine, which means you're on your back. Arms and abs. We're going to take these arms. I'm going to press the carriage away. Arms are going to be out to the sides of the room. Out to the sides of the room. Bring those legs to a turned out tabletop. Before we were here, what the heck is tabletop? Well, look at my legs. Looks like I could balance a glass of wine on top of my shin. Now I'm going to turn out, which is going to feel a little bit better on my hip flexors. From here, those arms are long. Press those arms by your side. Again, I like to have my fingertips free. You don't have to do that. You can be like this, making a fist. And open. Exhale.
As I open the arms to the sides of the room, I'm keeping my shoulders away from my shoulder rest best I can. Of course, they're going to touch, and close. Just make sure you're breathing. Close. Your arms are only opening as far as the fingers are in line with the shoulders. So we want to try and avoid taking those arms too far back. Don't want to compromise your shoulders. Slow, slow. I'm a big proponent of slow. Of course, you don't have to listen to me, but I feel I work deeper. Slower I go. One more. Open. Done. A 1,000 different variations we could do. Extending the legs, bending the knees in. One arm up, one arm to the side, only one arm. Again, so many options. But at the end of the day, you know your body the best. And if you're in a class, whether it be mine or someone else, and you know they're doing crazy stuff, best thing you can do, keep your head down, bring those legs to either a tabletop or turned out, arms straight up to the ceiling, and go up and down. That's it. So just remember that. All right. We're coming up, finally. I'm going to do a little bit of arm work. We're moving on. I'm going to do a little bit of a kneeling series, and then we're going to go into foot strips, which is a favorite of many people. I believe my hair has come out. So, oh no, it's still in there. Okay. Coming on up. I'm going to lighten my weight. I'm going to put the lightest weight I have, which is a yellow spring. Lightest weight. We talked about it. The weights are going to be different on different reformers. Whatever's the lightest one you have, you do it. And if you feel as though that one is too heavy, I'll give you a few tips as to what to do. All right, stand. I'm going to come around and face you. Kneeling onto the reformer. I'm kneeling. I'd say I'm about 5 inches away from the shoulder rest. I'm not automatically towards the wavefront. I'm in line with the back edge of the front shoulder rest. For me, I'd like to have my knees open slightly. That works better for me because my knees are a bit cranky, almost like I'm turned out. You can always have them parallel as well. Picking up that strap that is in front of us and holding it with the opposite hand. Holding it with the opposite hand. My one hand will go on my hip. Now, I'm going to tuck my tail under. It's called a posterior pelvic tilt. I'm going to turn around and show you the difference so you can see me from the side. I'm essentially to the side doing the same thing. So I'm not like that as I do all this. I'm going to pull my tail under. So posterior pelvic tilt. Right away when I do that, I feel the tops of my thighs working. So we want to kind of avoid, hey, and tuck those hips under. All right, let's move on. Like I said, about 4 or 5 inches away. Here we go. In line with the girls, in line with the chest. You're going to extend that arm long and take that arm up and then back to the girls. The girls are the boobies. Up and back down. We're trying to extend that arm all the way up long. Hold it there, punch it forward. I do make a fist on this exercise. And then back to the center.
Let's say you're doing this. It's just too heavy. You stop. Scoot yourself a little bit more towards the shoulder rest. That's going to ease the tension a bit more. Your goal, you're keeping the left shoulder away from the ear, the shoulder of the hand with the strap. Exhale. I want one more. And done. Let's say kneeling doesn't work for you. Grab a hold onto that box that came with your reformer, put it long ways, sit on the box and do the whole darn thing. You might have to move around on that box to find the right resistance for you, but that's always an option. Now, I'm going to move myself a smidge this way for a little more tension because I'm going to hold that handle in this hand. So I'm going to move myself a little bit more over. Now, I'm going to take both hands and interlace my fingers on the handle. I'll rotate slightly to the rails and then over towards the foot bar. Back towards the rails and over towards the foot bar. So I was holding my breath. Now I'm going to start to breathe. Hey, we're just starting out here. We got plenty of time to bring all of this together. I just want you to move today and to breathe freely. This is called rotating. Rotation is so happy for the spine. We've got to move that spine in all directions. Now, let me show you what to avoid. All right, and back. So, you constantly want your hip bones pointing straight ahead as you rotate. In life, we tend to want to make things a little bit bigger. Not with this one. It's almost from the waist down. You are in cement. One more here. One more. It's not a big move. This is as far as I'm rotating right here. My head's in line with the spine. My eyes are following my fingertips. Back through center. Done. I'm going to stay put here for one more thing. You might have to move yourself a little bit over towards the shoulder rest for this next one. I'm going back to grabbing the handle with my opposite hand. Again, my right hand's going to go on my head. I lied. I'm going to move a little more this way. I'm going to move a little more this way because I feel as though that's a little bit heavy for me. I'm going to hold this arm as such, pointed straight towards me. My elbow's bent. It's glued by my side. I'm going to open that strap a few inches and then back through center. Open. Do you notice how I'm not opening far? Because I want to keep that elbow glued by my side. Open. Wonderful work for the shoulder, the rotator cuff. I'm sure you've heard of that before. I'm going to check in. Am I tucking my tail under? Okay, I wasn't. Now I feel the tops of my thighs working. I want one more. Open, open, open. Try to avoid that. That's a little bit of a cheat with that wrist. And come back through center. We didn't do many reps there, but I absolutely felt that right here. Okay. Let's do the other side because I want this to be kind of like a class. You won't be able to see what I'm doing, but you turn to the other side. We're going to repeat that. So carefully turn. Let's face the other direction. I'm going to be a little bit more closer to the shoulder rests. I'm going to grab that handle with the hand that's furthest away from the shoulder rest. That's my right hand. My left hand's going to go on my hips. I'm going to bring that handle so it's in line with my chest. I tuck that tail under. I'm going to give myself a big inhale. Exhale, punch. And then back through center. Again, inhale. Exhale, out. A reminder, if this is feeling too heavy, you stop and scoot yourself a little bit more towards the shoulder rest. We won't be doing a ton of reps here. This is called draw a sword. So yeah, okay, that's applicable to today's modern times. Not, but who knows anymore. I'm taking that sword out of my hip pocket and punching up. I want one more. Inhale and exhale. Done. Come on down. I'll scoot myself a smidge towards the foot bar to get a little bit more tension. I'm going to take that handle in line with my boobies, the cleavage, and I'm going to interlace my fingers. My elbows are wide like I'm holding a ball. I'm going to rotate slightly towards the rails and rotate over. Hey, I'm moving slow here. I'm finding my breath. I'm thinking I'm a jar of, I don't like olives, maybe salsa. And I'm twisting that jar, that would be my waist, open and off. Did that make sense? I don't know. I'm not sure if it did, but whatever, I'm trying. I want one more. And exhale. Back through center and done. Moving myself towards the shoulder rests. Grabbing hold onto that handle in the opposite hand. Hand goes on hips. So here's my elbow. It's glued by my side. I'm going to open only a few inches, keeping that elbow glued there by my waistline. And then close. Open. And close. You're saying to yourself, no, I want to get it out here. I want to make it bigger, but no, it's not. It's small. That elbow is going to stay by your side. My handles are making noise. 2 more. I'm going to tuck my tail under. I forgot. Squeeze my butt. 1. Done. And coming on back. Carefully sitting down on that reformer while I almost stood on the ball and twisted my ankle. That would have been perfect. Okay, moving on to this last segment of this first basics reformer class. Put your foot straps on. I'm going to take these handles, and like I said when we started, some of your reformers already have the foot straps on them. I need to put them on mine. Putting those foot straps on, I'm going to leave my headrest up. Weight change. I was on the very lightest. I'm going to take that off and place one heavy spring on and one medium spring. That is a red and a blue on my reformer. One heavy, one medium. Lying on down. I'm going to pick up one strap, place that foot through the strap, try and get a little bit closer to the heel than the arch of the foot, the middle of the foot. So you want to kind of press it down towards the heel. Okay, now I'm going to get the other one and get into it. All right, push those legs long. Those legs are long. From here, I just want you to turn out your legs. You're in external rotation. You're going to lift those legs straight up. Remember, we're just moving straight up and down. And we're going to talk now. Let's talk. I have my hands here on my pokey hip bones. As almost a guide, I'm pressing them down lightly. As I lower my legs, I'm going just about as low as I feel a little shake in my abs. I'm ready to lift then. I lift. Okay, I lift. I'm pressing my tailbone down. I feel a lovely stretch right here in the backs of my legs. And I'm ready to go back down again. Everyone's range of motion in foot straps will be different. If you take a group Pilates class, please ignore your neighbor and what they're doing. You just do you. So I try and want to avoid taking my legs way too far back because right here I'm starting to lift my hips. We'll do that. But for now, I want you to be on that carriage. We're going to lower. And lift. I'm trying to stay still in this area. Please don't expect to get this right away. No way. Okay? It takes practice. Play, move. And I've been doing this 20 years. And sometimes I get on here and I'm like, oh, I have this like aha moment after 20 years. Just move. Okay, and breathe. I'm going to inhale here. Big inhale. Exhale. I'm going to go up with my legs. Back to a 45-degree angle. I'm going to frog those legs, bending those knees in. And extending. I'm adding a little bit. You see how my toes are pointed here? You can do that if you want. If not, no big deal. I'm going to flex my feet, bend my knees, only until before. I don't want to see the booty lifting yet. So my knees are tracking right over my hips. And extend. I just like to point my toes. Flex. Extend. Slow. One more. I connect my heels the entire time. And extend. Here, you might separate those heels. That's okay. From here, take those legs up. Flex those feet. Pull down on these cords. And stay here. And breathe. Close your eyes. And breathe. There's so many things we can do in foot straps, and we will do that. Those were the basics. Just to get you thinking. And again, I encourage you to just play in these straps. What feels good for you? Do you want to open those legs out slightly? Does that feel good? It feels good to me. And close. Let's take those straps off. One at a time. Hanging up one strap and then the other. We're going to come on up and do one of my favorite stretches. It's called the mermaid. I promise it feels really good. Only one heavy spring. I only have one red spring on. I'm going to face you and pull my pants up. Because every class I teach, I tend to pull my pants up. You will bend the knee straight against the shoulder rests. I'm going to move myself back. Let's say this really bothers you. And guess what? It bothers a lot of people. We can option crisscross applesauce, but I want you to move close to the edge of the carriage. This might bother you. To sit on the carriage, have those feet a little off, sit this way. If you have longer legs than me, which is really possible, you might want to grab that box and sit on the box. So there's a multitude of ways to do this. I'm going to go back to that kind of pretzel position, bending my knee. I'll move back a little in the carriage. I'm going to press out and over. My left arm is nice and long. I'm pressing away as I take my right arm over and then back. When I come on in, I'm bending that arm, the hand that's on the foot bar, and over. What's going on here? Beautiful opener right here. Beautiful stretch. Beautiful open here. And back. Sitting up nice and tall. Over. You're going to hold it here. Rotate. That hand will go on the foot bar. You will move the other hand over slightly. Press the carriage away and look down at the spring. Breathe. If you can, keep those arms long. Bring yourself in and find your best extension. And back down. Work within your range of motion. And up. One more time. Breathe. Back on up. Let's get an oppositional stretch. That one arm will reach towards the headrest. Sometimes I like to hold on to the shoulder rest. Opposite stretch. Breathe. Coming back through center. Let's turn around and hit the other side. So many positions you can choose from. In fact, in this one, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to sit and let my feet float so you can see it be done this way. My feet are floating off the floor. Over.
and back. Over. Rotate. Press away. Bring the carriage in and back. Breathe in and out. Last one. Taking the arm through the headrest and over. That oppositional stretch. Back through center.
So yeah, just a beginner basic class. Whether you're just starting in the reformer or you've done it 20 times and want to slow things down and learn the basics. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to do 2 more classes about the reformer. One is going to include the box. We'll do many moves in the box that I often teach in class. And then another one without the box. I mean, we could spend days on days going over every single move on the reformer. But if I kind of take you through the basics, you'll know when you take a class what the do's and don'ts are. If you want to modify what you do. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Have a good day, everyone.